What's up, Cardfighters? Ryan here from Vanguard Central, bringing you guys a quick little video of what we think are the best commons in Vanguard. Stay tuned.
Stand up, Vanguard!
So, when you hear the term best commons, the first thing that comes into mind are commons that have, a lot of value or add a lot of value into each deck. And that's essentially what we're going with this theme. So for this video, I'm going to go ahead and exclude Cray Elementals and Token Rambu since they're not really seen as much. So I'm going to go ahead and stick to the main 23 clans that are being played. Starting in alphabetical order, we do have Artilleryman for Pale Moon. And his first ability is once per turn on the Vanguard Circle, it's G-Break 1. When your rearguard is put into your soul, you may put that card into your drop zone, and if you do, choose up to one of your opponent's rearguards with the same grade as that card and retire it. And his second ability is also on the Vanguard Circle once per turn. When your rearguard is put into your soul, increase this unit's power by the original power of the card that was put into your soul until end of turn. I think that Artilleryman is a great backup for a lot of decks like Harry, and maybe some other gimmicky decks as well. The funny thing about Artilleryman is that he's able to get a little bit of control into your games. Next we have Amon's follower, Barmaid Grace, for Dark Irregulars. So she's a starter, so she does have the Forerunner ability, and her main ability is an Act. On the rearguard circle, you can counterblast 1 and rest this unit. If you have a Vanguard with a Mon in its card name, Soul Charge 2, choose one of your units with a Mon in its card name, and until end of turn it gets continuous Vanguard or rearguard. This unit gets plus 1000 for each card in your soul. Barmaid Grace is an insanely great starter, simply because you can ramp soul every turn as long as you can pay the cost. And you get some really nice numbers with the continuous skill, since the unit chosen does get plus 1000 for each card in the soul. So this combos really well with Gilderai, for example. Next we have Blackboard Parrot, another starter, except this time it's for Great Nature. So same thing, it's a Forerunner ability, so if you ride over it, you can call it to rearguard circle. And its second ability is an Act. On the rearguard circle, you can just put it into the soul, choose one of your Great Nature rearguards, and that unit gets, during your end phase, when this unit is put into the drop zone from rear, you can draw a card. So Blackboard Parrot is amazing because it's just free. As long as you can get something that can give it plus 4 and make it die, you get a free draw from it. And it's pretty easy to do in Great Nature, considering that a lot of grade 2 lineups are either playing Compass Lions or Bino Tigers. So next we have Nurse of Broken Heart for Angel Feather. So it was either Broken Heart or Refros, and I understand that Refros just got hit by the Banhammer, so I'm going to go ahead and give Broken Heart a little bit of love. So Broken Heart's skill is auto on the rearguard circle, Generation Break 1. When your card is put into your damage zone, choose one of your Vanguards, and this unit and that unit get plus 2000 until end of turn. So this makes some really insane defensive lanes and also offensive lanes. That's why Broken Heart is, literally broken. And next we have Demonic Dragon Berserker Chatera for Narukami. Chatera's first ability is on rearguard. It can't attack a rearguard, which is funny because the main thing is that even though he's an AK, his second ability, during your turn, this unit gets plus 3000 and auto. Rearguard circle only, counterblast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card and choose a card from your opponent's drop zone and bind it face up. So this has some really, really great synergy with pretty much any Narukami deck, since you get that extra hand power which Narukami sometimes does lack, and you get extra bound cards for your Vanquisher plays or Voltage plays. And next we have Cosmic Hero Grand Chopper for Dimension Police. I personally think that Grand Chopper is one of the more underrated cards, at least for Dimension Police, simply because it doesn't have to target Cosmic Heroes, and also it makes your 2 to passes like either a 1 to pass, simply because his skill does work on drive checks, and his ability is auto on the rearguard circle once per turn. Counterblast 1, when this unit's power is increased due to an effect from one of your cards, if this unit's power is 11,000 or greater, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 of your other units and they get power plus 4,000 until end of turn. Now it does not activate from increases due to boosting or guarding, so that makes total sense, but the funny thing is that it totally works if you give it a trigger effect, and that's really neat. Next we have Cosmos Pixie Lisbeth for Neonectar. So if you guys don't know her ability, it is Bloom, an auto on the rearguard circle, G-Break 1. When your other Cosmos Pixie Lisbeth is placed on rearguard circle, choose up to 5 of them. Until end of turn, they all get Act. Rearguard circle only, G-Break 1, pay 0, so 0 cost. Choose a normal unit from your drop zone. If you chose a card, choose up to 4 cards with the same name as that card from your drop zone and return them all to your deck. Return this unit to the deck, shuffle, and draw a card. This is actually a really great card since it is a stand trigger, so Neo Nectar is already having some pretty huge lanes, and also the fact that you can go ahead and recycle a lot of stuff. There is the loop that is with Elizabeth, but it's pretty hard to pull off because you need a lot of setup for it. And next for Shadow Paladin, we do have Promising Knight David. So again, David is a starter, so he does have that Forerunner ability, and also his main skill is a continuous on the rearguard circle, G-Break 1. While you are retiring your rearguards for the cost of your unit's ability, retiring him may be regarded as retiring 2 rearguards. So basically, he makes your kill 3 a kill 2, which comes in really handy for Shadow Paladin. Next for Nubatama, we have Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster, simply because that Dreadmaster is really good in Nubatama. His ability, if you guys don't already know, it's auto rearguard circle, counterblast 1. When an attack hits during the battle that this unit boosted a Nubatama, if the number of cards in your hand is less than your opponent's, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. And the funny thing is, if it hits, it can hit anything. It doesn't have to hit a Vanguard, it can also hit a rearguard. It's great. And next for Royal Paladin, we have Floral Paladin Flogel. A lot of people do despise this card simply because it's so good. Its ability, if you guys don't already know, is auto rearguard circle, counterblast 1. At the end of the battle that your unit named Blaster Blade attacked a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one of your units named Blaster Blade on rearguard circle, stand it, return it to the deck, and shuffle your deck. So not only does it keep the trigger count high in your deck, but you do also get to restand some powerful Blaster Blades as long as you can pay the cost. It's pretty amazing. Next up for Kagura, we have Gatling Claw Dragon. I believe Gatling Claw was also a trial deck, but it did get reprinted as a common, so he's going to go ahead and fit in this category. So Gatling Claw's skill is an act, rearguard circle only, counterblast 1, and put him into the soul. If you have a Kagura Vanguard, choose up to one of your opponent's grade 0 rearguards and retire it. So this sets up really good early game if you want to go ahead and kill off pesky starters. It really slows down a lot of people's decks. Next up for Aquaforce, we have High Tide Sniper. Aquaforce was a little bit tough for me since there are a lot of good commons, but I ended up going with High Tide Sniper simply because he's just so powerful. His ability is auto on the rearguard circle, G-Break 1. You can Soul Blast 1. When this unit attacks, if it's the third battle of that turn or more, so wave 3 basically, you may pay the cost, and if you do, he gets plus 10,000. So he's a 19k swinger by himself after that. So he's really broken with Lambros turns or any other thing that can get him restanding and after the third battle. Next up for Tachikaze, we have Ancient Dragon Hypno Hang. Hypno Hang basically just got their Tidal Assault. I feel like this is also a great card, so if you guys don't know its ability, it's auto on the rearguard circle only. Once per turn, choose the cost to choose one of your other rearguards with Ancient Dragon in its card name and retire it. So at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Spino in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit, and this unit gets plus 3,000 until end of turn. So this sets up some really nice restanding plays, especially since if you do end up playing the Spino deck. Next up for Spike Brothers, we do have Jumbo the Stun Gun. Jumbo the Stun Gun is actually a pretty funny card simply because it makes a lot of plays happen in Spike Brothers. Even having a 1-of in your deck can really make a difference. Because of his ability, auto, during your battle phase, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, you may soul charge 1, choose a card from your damage zone, and turn it face up. So he's kind of like one of those clan clones where you unflip 1 and soul charge 1. It actually works really well in this since there's a lot of superior calling that goes in Spike Brothers, and you do need soul and you do need counterblast, so it actually sets up perfectly. Next up for Gold Paladin, we have Catch Goal Liberator. Catch Goal has been there since set 16, and he's been very good in both the Liberator variants and also for the non-Liberator variants, simply because you don't need to be a Liberator. So his ability is an auto, put this unit on the bottom of your deck, that's your cost, and when this unit is placed on rearguard from your deck, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, search for up to 1 card other than Catch Goal, and call it to an open rearguard and shuffle your deck. This is great because even though it's open rearguard, he's going to get sent back to the deck anyway, so you're always going to have that open rearguard guaranteed. It just lets you fix your superior calls, which is really good. Next up for Murakumo, we actually have Onifundo, and Onifundo is another starter. I find Onifundo a very funny card, simply because it gets you a lot of hand, gets you a lot of shield if you need it. If you guys don't know his ability, it's auto on the rearguard circle, G-Break 1. The cost is to Soul Blast 1 and return it to the hand. And at the beginning of your main phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, search for up to 1 card from among them, call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck. At the end of the turn, put the unit called with this effect on the bottom of your deck. So you get a little bit of extra attackers, and you can get some shield. And next up for Oracle Think Tank, we have Oracle Guardian Gemini. I went with Gemini simply because it's just so... It was so good. It was so groundbreaking for Oracle Think Tank just to throw it behind a Silent Tom to make easy 16k with no zeros, which was pretty devastating because you at least needed 2 cards to guard, especially if you got a trigger on it. So that's why we picked Gemini as the best common. Next up for Link Joker, we have Prison Gate Starvader Paladin. Paladin, if you guys don't already know its skill, it's auto, rearguard circle, counterblast 1, and put it into the soul during your opponent's end phase. When an opponent's lock card is unlocked and you have a Link Joker Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, relock the unit. Paladin literally wreaked havoc during the Chaos Breaker days, and it's still a great card in any Link Joker variant. I mean, not so much Messiahs, but definitely Starvaders, since you can basically control your opponent's board down to a certain extent, which is really, really good. Next up for Mega Colony, we have Machining Papilio. I chose Papilio over Machining Little B simply because it slows down a lot of rush decks, especially, and it's free. It's simply free just because its ability is auto when it's placed on rearguard circle. If you have a Mega Colony Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So even though it's an 8k, it still has a very, very powerful skill, and I think it's a great card. Next up for Bermuda Triangle, this one's actually a tough one. We picked Duo White Crystal Rika. The reason I went with Rika is because it works really well in a Harmony build. The fact that it makes a lot of stuff very free, and it does fill the soul, it's just like Jumbo the Stun Gun. I went with it simply because you can go ahead and fill soul for a lot of your soul blasting plays, like Oral for example, and you can also get anything, you get your counterblast free, because you do get draws off with Loris for example as well, or even Akari. Next up for Nova Grappler, we do have Extreme Battler Sasenda. This was actually one of the cards that I hate because I'm super against Nova Grappler because they're more annoying than Aquaforce, to be honest. So if you guys don't already know its ability, it's auto, rearguard circle only, Generation Break 1. When this unit stands due to an effect from one of your cards, this unit gets plus 5,000 until end of battle. So every time it does stand, including stand triggers, it gets an additional 5k. I think Sazanda, all around, unbiased, is a really amazing card, especially for the clan, since it's so free. As long as you can get it standing, you're going to get a really high-powered number. Next up for Genesis, I went with Exorcism Regalia Shiny Angel. I chose Shiny Angel because it works really well in any Regalia build. The fact that its ability is when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, choose up to 3 cards with Regalia and its card name from your drop zone and put them into your soul. So this helps a lot because you just end up reusing the soul that you just soul blasted the previous turn or the same turn, and then you can go ahead and use that and combo it with stuff like CEO Yggdrasil or even your G Guardian to get more cards out of the soul from your drop zone instead of your deck. Next up for Grand Blue, we have Skeleton Cannoneer. Cannoneer is one of the most amazing cards, especially for Grand Blue, and the fact that they got it, it adds a lot of draw power and a lot of control, because its ability is hollow, so when this unit is placed on rearguard, you may have it become hollowed. If you do, it dies at the end of turn. But its second ability is Auto G-Break 1, Counterblast 1 is the cost. When this unit is placed on rearguard from your drop zone, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, then if it's hollowed, you can draw a card. So even if you don't hollow it, you still get to get the kill, but then the best part is that you want to be able to reuse it, so just keep letting it die and bring it back. That's the best part. And lastly, for Gear Chronicle, we have TikTok Worker as the best common. TikTok is insanely good, and there's a reason why he was banned, because he makes so much plays happen. So TikTok is a starter, so he does have the Forerunner ability, and he also has a Time Leap skill. At the end of the battle, that auto, rearguard circle only, G-Break 1, the cost is to put him into the soul. At the end of the battle that your other rearguard attack, you may pay the cost. If you do, Time Leap that unit. This ability that just seems so simple unlocks so much potential for the deck, and that's why Gears is where it is today as one of the best decks in the format. So thanks for watching, guys. I know it was a pretty long video, but that was basically it for our best commons video. Let me know what you guys think below. Let me know if you guys do agree with what we chose for the best commons in Vanguard. If you guys disagree, let me know what you guys would choose instead down below in the comments. Like I always say, guys, like our videos, comment down below if you guys have any questions, and subscribe for more content. Vanguard Central out.